And hello. Hello, hello, hello. I need to get a stronger Wi-Fi signal, I believe. I need to get a booster because am I on here? Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Let me see if I can hear me. You can. All right. All right. Go back over here. Yes, I am trying the afternoon time to see how that works. You never know. I might need to be an afternoon inspiration. Cause what time is tea time for real? But here I am. Let me ask check. What time is tea time? It's between 3 and 5. Okay, I'm probably not gonna come on that late. So we'll just see who comes. Just come on here. I'm talking to my faithful assistant. Let me get back to my notes. It is 2:30. I'm gonna get the people. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. I'm still working on my Calendly account. Technology, Jesus. Technology is something that I'm learning. Um, so I will not be out here talking about I'm technologically deficient. I'm not. I just have a to walk through my learning curve of technology. hmm 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 And I had, yeah, I had this. Here she is, Michelle. You know I got a standard right now because mainly because I hadn't gone to the grocery store. I'm missing my flavors. So the standard right now is still the orange pico tea, the black mint tea, some cranberry juice, some lemon juice, and some honey. But I miss my lemon ginger tea. I'm out. There's no need for y'all to be talking to me right now. And so that is what I have because it's tea time in the afternoon and over there across that big pond, and it's a perfect day for some hot tea because it's raining here. I don't know if it's raining there, but it is raining here. What's it doing there, Michelle? Let me tell you, let me find Shamika. She was one of the ones who was like, if you come on in the afternoon, I'll be trying to just, there we go. There's Shamika. Let me hit up Julia. Stephen over there in class. I can hear his whole class. All right. Okay, it looks like I got like 3 people. Am I one of them? It's 54 and sunny. Okay. Well, it might just be me and you. And if it's just me and you, that's fine. It won't be the first. It won't be the wouldn't be the first time that it was just 2 people on. So this a new time. So you got to get people acclimated, right? All right. So hello, everyone. My name is Karen Booth, and I am the Baggage Handler. I'm a forgiveness and confidence coach, and I am here to help you clean out what is in your soul bag, those things that keep you from being all that God has said you can be. And the avenue that He has given me to do that with is through the act of forgiveness. Hey, Kristen. The act of forgiveness takes care of a lot of spaces in your life where you have been held back, held hostage, all the things. You would be surprised the things, you would just be surprised how much in bondage you are kept by holding on to unforgiveness, by holding a grudge, by keeping yourself mad at a person or an organization or a job or a family member or yourself. You would, so here I am. So here I am. So that's why I am here. And so yesterday, I did more of a kind of a testifying kind of thing, where I told y'all, I had dealt with a lot of things the past 30 days. A lot of things happened, and the central most the biggest thing that happened was Daddy went on to be with the Lord. And yes, I am still in a sad place, but life has got to continue, and I've got to process those emotions. But in the midst of all of that, some other things happen, right? And so, you know, um, in the natural eye, it seems like life's a lot all at once sometimes, right? Life will sometimes feel like it is doing the most. And so when I thought about that, I thought about, yeah, I'm not the first person that this has happened to. I'm not the first person. As my coach Sean says, I am special, but my situation, I am unique and special, but my situation is not. That's why he has people out here in the world that walk through these situations. They can tell us this, they can help us get through. So here I am with my special self and my ununique situation. Here I am. And we're going to still talk about faith and forgiveness in the fire. Um, hey, Miss Williams, how you doing? Um, and so I thought, I touched on it kind of yesterday. I touched on it. Um, but I was I was really doing my best to keep myself from crying through it. And so I have some other things that I would just like to bring out. Um, because it was more of a testimony thing. It was more of a I mean, I taught a little bit, but I don't think I taught a whole lot. But anyway, so in the fire, in the fire, because I'm talking about faith and forgiveness while still in the fire. So in the fire, you really have to be intentional about remaining in a mindset of being forgiving, right? And so I thought, um, I went to that old good biblical example about the Hebrew boys and the fire because why not? People are familiar with that. And even though in the situation, we always talk about the faith of those young men. They didn't bow, they didn't flounder, flutter, falter. I think falter is the word I'm looking for. They didn't falter in their faith. The people talked about them. They were humiliated. Can y'all hear me? If you can still hear me, put 3 in the comments because I don't see any comments going by. They were humiliated. They were talked about. They were falsely accused. They were betrayed. All the things. All the things. Oh, so I don't see any comments. Hey, Jenny. Okay. All right. I was just making sure. And so what I said yesterday, one of the first things I said yesterday was the fire exposes, right? So sometimes the purpose of the fire is to expose. It reveals what's real and what's residue. It brings to the surface what we've trusted more than God. Some things in my life situation have changed while in the fire of dealing with my family, the loss of my family. And, it exposed to me, and in me, I guess, um, that maybe I was trusting something a little bit more than I trusted God. Maybe I was, right? So it can expose attitudes, it can expose fears, it can expose attachments that were quietly shaping responses, right? And so something happened, something changed, it was hurtful, it was disappointing, it was all the things, right? It's kind of the same parallel as what happened to these young men, right? So um when they were sent to the fire, they had every chance to be offended, upset, mad, falling out. Why God? Why Lord? What for? Right? But instead, they were like, well, even if the Lord don't deliver us. And who would say that? Like, even if he don't, yes, even if he don't deliver us. They could have said, but King Nebuchadnezzar, we have served you well. King Nebuchadnezzar, we've done all the things. And you know what happened to King Nebuchadnezzar later on anyway. um, King, we done did all this. How you throwing us in the fight? But they didn't say that. They said they still depended on God. They said, even if he doesn't deliver us, we still not going to bow to that thing you got over there. They could have been upset that the people who set it up to where they had to go into the flames. They could have been. My whole point of this is that even though they didn't verbally say, we forgive, we release the emotions, we release the the um, the feelings being noticeably changed. We release the bitterness. We release the hostility. Even though they didn't actually say that, even though the Bible doesn't specifically say, yes, they did the wonderful thing and forgave, blah, 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 you see it in action. They went in. What happened, happened. Or what didn't happen, happened. They didn't get burned out. And when they came out, they didn't smell like smoke. Ugh, my eyes itching, I know. Not a good look. They didn't smell like smoke. So how many of you can say you've been in a situation, actively in a situation, and you over there with your feelings? The people are currently right now today, October, what is today? October 28th, October 28th, 2025. Somebody is actively talking about you, betraying you, insulting you, doing something to harm you, and you say, well, even if God don't bring me out of this situation, it's okay. We still not gonna bow. I'm still not gonna cuss you out, even though you treat me crazy. I'm not gonna let my blood, better yet, I'm not gonna let my blood pressure get up. I'm not gonna get riled up in this situation. Because here's the thing: when they came out without even the smell of smoke, that was more than deliverance. That was proof that forgiveness had done its work. Because you can't come out of fire unsinged if you're still burning with bitterness on the inside. Write that down. Okay, Jenny. Okay. I'm hoping y'all are listening because it says I got some people on here. So here we are. You can't come out of the fire unsinged if you're still burning with bitterness on the inside. Yesterday, I don't know if you listened yesterday. I know Michelle was there. But yesterday, I told you about a family member that responded in a way that I didn't particularly care for. And my friend Marlo put on here, Dr. Lowe, she put on there to self-reflect and make sure they weren't responding to energy that had been put out prior to. So, later on, I thought, maybe that person responded based on historical things that had happened that maybe I didn't know about. Like I thought it was rude. I thought it was crass. I thought, and it did show me some stuff. It did show me some stuff, right? However, maybe they're in a spot that let me know that because of where they are and because of where I am, maybe some distance needs to be put between us. Because at first, I bet I was really offended. I was like, let's go by and throw a brick in the window. Offended. Because how you gonna say that? But I was saying how you gonna say that based on only what I knew. And of course, when you're getting everything second and third hand, you probably getting about 70% of the truth, and the other 30. You see what I'm saying? So their response was based on history that I was not a part of, And so that allowed me to say, you know what? That allowed me to walk in forgiveness. Because who wants to come out the fire unsinged is me, right? Because the Hebrew boys did not curse the king after. They walked out and they were still faithful. And so that same king who sent them to the fire then turned around and publicly honored God. And so, since everything that we would like to do is something that we hope will draw people into the kingdom, because we're always trying to draw people into the kingdom, every assignment, he didn't have me on this assignment just so I can be on the screen and look cute. He asked me on this assignment to draw people into the kingdom. And so I talk forgiveness, I teach forgiveness, I share forgiveness, you know, when it's appropriate. I just end up walking up to people talking about, that. And so I also then have to be an example of it, of when I am walking through the fire. And the junk got hot. Hear me? hmm It got hot. And so after they walked out, this just will bless my soul. I took my notes and then I think I just read over this real quick. I took, they were in the fire, they didn't cuss the king, they didn't boast for attack, they walked out still faithful, and then they were promoted to even greater positions of influence. And so thank you, Michelle. And so in all of that, after being faithful to God and doing the thing and then being lied on, just like Jesus was lied on, and then, lied on, talked about, how the song go, lied on, cheated. That's what the word is. Lied on, cheated, talked about, and mistreated. Um, they were still faithful, and then they got promoted. Then they got promoted. Am I not getting promoted because when somebody do something ignorant, I equal their ignorance because I'm not walking in forgiveness. I'm not walking, I'm not releasing the bitterness. I'm not releasing, the thing because the fire has exposed that I was maybe I was too tied up in something that I should have let go a long time ago. Maybe I was walking in a little pride because how dare that person say that in this situation to me? That was prideful. It's prideful. Right? So the fire um, for the Hebrew boys, it exposed their loyalty, their peace, and their forgiveness. You know, and so the fire also exposed some places where I could have been offended, where just them, just like me, they could have been offended, so could I. They could have retaliated, so could I. When they came out, they were still faithful. They could, the things that the fire will expose that can be, just laying over there in you. You know, as there's a scripture says something, if you faint, if you faint in the day of adversity, then your strength is small. And if you are presented to us presented a situation where the fire is super hot, where your feelings are super hurt. And believe you me, when I'm looking at my father and looking at how, you know, how he was looking, and so my emotions were already raw. My emotions were already raw. To then have something on top of that. And I thank God because when I was on that phone, I heard myself getting ready to say something. And the Lord was like, no, just don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because you don't want, I don't want to taint witness. Did I process the emotions? I did process them. Did I have to consciously say, like out loud to myself every day, I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to let myself run a fool. I'm not going to do all the things I did, because that's what the choice to forgive looks like. It doesn't say don't feel. It says, be angry and sin not, like the Bible says, be angry and sin not. Walk through the fire, feel the feels, and sin not. Walk through the fire, because didn't it also say that that's also putting another somebody in there? Because while you're in the fire, you're not in the fire by yourself, right? You're not in the fire by yourself. Michelle said, but God. But God is with you in the fire. But God is with you in the fire, right? And so the Hebrew boys didn't just survive the fire, they forgave through it. That's why they came out without smoke. Hey, Chandra, you can call me at the tail end. That, that's why they came out without smoke. Fire refines faith, but forgiveness removes the residue. How about that? Fire refines faith, but forgiveness removes the residue. Walk through the fire. That's Michelle. Walk through the fire. Don't stay there and burn up. Right? You remember, you can't come out of the fire without the smell of smoke like the Hebrew boys. If you're still burning up with bitterness on the inside, you're gonna be stinky. Now, so just remember that forgiveness involves releasing someone from the debt or penalty of their offense without requiring repayment, trusting God for justice, and refusing to carry the burden of resentment or revenge. It's really I think it's Exodus 14:14, where it says, be still and let me fight for you. Because you hold bitterness and want revenge because you're mad because you want to fight. You're mad because you want to fight. You're mad because you want to Jasmine Sullivan. You're mad because you want to left eye the house. You do. Now, and don't. And do not. Because baby, I wanted to get up. I wanted to get, last week I wanted to get in my car and drive to and do something. I did, but I didn't. And so I can see where I feel a whole lot better right now because I still love the Lord because He was still there with me. And He wants me to be free. He does not want me to be bound by the sin of unforgiveness because I know the heaviness, I know the tightness, I know what being bound by unforgiveness feels like. And it does feel like chains holding you down, and it does feel like something heavy sitting on your chest, and it does feel like your blood boiling. Until you release all of that and turn it over to God so that He can heal your feelings and handle the other person. And that's what I want us to always carry. Whatever the fire is exposing. If it's exposing some pride, if it because my pride said, how's she gonna say that to me? How they gonna do that to me? As faithful as I was, but I was probably ignorant somewhere else with somebody else. So we all do some crazy stuff. So it exposes all that, so that you can, so that it can all be dealt with by God. So you have to be sure to forgive people so that God can do His good healing, His good cleanup work, His good digging out the things in you that should not be there. Because if it don't line up with Christ, then you don't need it. And that includes some raggedy emotions. So yeah, that was kind of a little bit more on what I talked about yesterday because the fire exposes some things when you're in it. So there we go. So there we are. That is my afternoon tea time for today. Y'all just know that I am experimenting with some different times. So right now we're going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9, Tuesday and Thursday at 2:30 Central Time. My computer's not very good. You are welcome, Miss Williams. I want y'all to know. Hold on, my computer came unplugged. Okay. I want y'all to know that I will be teaching my Freedom Through Forgiveness training class in November. And it is probably going to be on. It's probably going to be on Thursday nights. This time, Thursdays at 6. Thursdays at 6. Jenny, I'm gonna still keep what you asked me. I'm gonna keep that on. Praise God, Michelle. I'm gonna still keep what you asked me on Sunday. So, like I said yesterday, there is another class that has been birthed at the last class. Look at the Lord. So, it's going to be dealing more specifically with family forgiveness. So I'm working through getting that developed and worked up. So if you need that, that will probably be like sometime mid-November. And that one will be on Sunday afternoons. So I will keep you informed about the 6-week Freedom Through Forgiveness Journey class, which is, coming up really quickly. And the probably 2-week family forgiveness class. And all of that'll be in November. Yep, Jenny requested it. And so, yeah. She has a special place. She got a little favor on her life. So that one will be on Sunday. The other one will be on Thursday. So I will get those links set up and out for people to to enroll. Y'all, tell your friends, like, tag, and share the video. I'm just out here trying to help people be free. So y'all have a good afternoon. Tomorrow in the morning at 9. Okay, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 9. Tuesday, Thursday, 2:30. Just building this good plane while I'm flying. All right. Y'all have a great afternoon and thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the morning.